Um, Good day, everyone. I'd like to greet you in the name of our great Lord Jesus Christ. And I want to wish all the women of South Africa a beautiful Women's Month. I hope you had a beautiful Women's Day. Happy Women's Day, Mzansi. So today I will tell my story. My name is Melissa, and my story is entitled From Death to Light. It's about a near-death experience I had. So in 2011, I went into hospital for pain that I developed in my side. I was admitted to hospital and they found out it was an infection. So that they put a drip on me to treat the infection with an antibiotic. And a couple of minutes later, while lying there in bed, I was still watching Eat, Play, Love, and then texting my best friend, don't worry, it's something small, I'll be back tomorrow, I'll be out tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, my throat started tightening. I couldn't swallow. It was hard to swallow. And I felt very hot on the inside, like I was burning on the inside. And then I rang the alarm, asking for assistance. And when the nurse came in, I couldn't breathe. I was telling her, "Kani asamali, kani asamali." And the last memory I had was of her running out. And when I woke up, so I passed out from that. When I woke up, there were doctors and nurses all around me. And they told me, yes, that I had a severe allergic reaction to penicillin, and that I went into a short coma, and then I was moved to ICU where I recovered. So from 2011 onwards, I knew that, okay, I'm allergic to penicillin, and whenever I go to a doctor, I would tell them, okay, I'm allergic to penicillin, it's dangerous. I even had a medical alert bracelet. And then, so fast forward to 2019, I just returned from studies abroad, and I just started a new job. And at my age, the yearning was there to be a mother. I'm in my 30s. And I delayed the process for a very long time, and now I decided, okay, no, I think it's time for me to be a mother. Seeing that my career is going well. In September 2019, I found out, I was pregnant, and but a couple of days later, I had a miscarriage, and because of medical aid issues, they couldn't perform the evacuation of the womb then, the cleaning of the womb. They scheduled it for a week later. So the week later, on the 25th of September, my birthday, I went into hospital alone because I thought it was a small procedure. I went into the theater and I saw the gynecologist and then the anesthetist and the nurse. And a couple of weeks later, I wake up and I find out that I can't see, and my leg has been amputated. So I was informed that during the procedure, all my organs collapsed except my kidneys. My heart stopped, and they had to resuscitate me. And they think during the resuscitation I had a stroke, because they checked my brain, the MRI. They checked my brain, and I had a severe stroke that only affected my sight. So at the moment I can't see. And then they put me on a life support machine. And the life support machine, one of the pipes, it wasn't allowing the blood flow and oxygen flow to my right leg, and the leg got infected and had to be amputated. So that is my near-death experience. What happened to me in hospital. I was told that the doctor said that there was penicillin introduced during the procedure, and that might have led to all of that. Okay, so I woke up in hospital a couple of weeks later in October to find out that I'm blind and my leg has been amputated. But during my time in hospital, I was sedated the whole time, and I had a horrible, horrible dream. But I think it was God's way of preparing me for reality. So in my dream, or in my mind the whole time, I thought that I was attacked. In my dream, I was attacked. Acid was poured down my throat, and that resulted in all my organs failing. That is what happened in the dream. And then I was rushed to a hospital, and I was placed in this dark room, and there was only one window where I think the doctors were observing me, and there was a light there. So in the room, I would be anxious, and lots of snakes would be coming down from the walls. But what stood out about this dream, the positive thing about this dream, is that my family, especially the women in my family, they were there. One by one, the women of my family would come in and they would try to calm me down. I had my eldest aunt, Auntie Zan, holding my hand while snakes were biting her, but she stayed with me. She held my hand. I had my mother there holding my hand. My cousins, female cousins, were fighting for me. And my girlfriends as well, my female friends from all over, were also there, coming in one by one to calm me down, to hold my hand, to give a reassuring word. And this was probably happening in reality, but I didn't know it was part of my dream. But the one thing that stood out to me is when my cousin Quincy came in. I was sitting in the room, and the snakes were coming down the walls. And we were sitting back to back, as she was holding me up because I was too weak to sit up. And she started singing, "Die Here is my herder. Niks sal my ontbreek nie." And I remember the tears rolling down my face. And the snakes were coming down, and they were biting her, they were attacking. And I remember someone coming in and asking her, "Are you ready to leave now?" And she said, "No, she'll stay." And that is the moment that I realized that I had people fighting for me, that people were there for me, especially the females, the women in my life. I think that is when God started working on me, preparing me for the time that I would wake up and find out what had happened. So, yes, I'm in hospital. I was in hospital at the one hospital where the incident happened. I was there for a month. And then because of my new modified body, I had to go to a rehabilitation to find out how to use my body with one leg and how to use my body without being able to see. So I went to a rehabilitation hospital here in Pretoria, and there I met amazing people. I was filled in a room with women that were telling their stories, women that have had strokes, women that couldn't do things for themselves, and strong, independent women. And I also realized how blessed I am. Like, I thought, I thought it was so cruel. Like, I remember being angry at God. I thought it's so cruel to take away my sight and my leg. But after a while, listening to everybody's stories, I realized how fortunate I am. there were women that had a stroke and they forgot their entire lives, even their mother tongue, they forgot. There was a woman that she has such a strong will. The nurses would tell her not to get up, not to get up, not to get up. But because she is 70 years old, she couldn't see it that she couldn't take care of herself, because she's used to taking care of herself. And these are women from all races, all backgrounds, that were in the same room going through similar struggles. So God started working on me, because most of my life I thought that no, I can control everything. So now the funny thing is with my eyes, it's not the eyes that are the problem, it's the brain that is the problem. So the part of my brain that is supposed to interpret images, it can't interpret images because it's damaged. So whatever I think of, that becomes a reality to my eyes. I see it in front of myself. So I was in hospital there for 3 months at the rehabilitation, and I came home, and yeah, it was a tough reality, because now you don't have all these health workers helping you. You have other people, your family, that also has to adjust to the situation, because in our family we have never had to deal with anyone that did not have all their senses or had all their limbs. So I remember coming home, and the one night I had a panic attack, because my eyes were seeing very dark images. It was like those snakes from my dream were there again, and I had a panic attack. And then I thought, okay, what can I do to reset my mind? I started getting audiobooks. I started reading audiobooks, but I realized, no, I'm still having nightmares. And then I thought of music, but still having nightmares. And then I thought, okay, I have to start reading the Bible. But when I read the Bible, I didn't really understand it, because I wanted to start from Genesis and finish everything. And then I decided, no, I have to listen to sermons. And I went on to Spotify, and I started listening to sermons, especially from Elevation Church and Transformation Church. And what was apparent to me is, or what the pastor was preaching about, was how God uses the most unlikely people. How he used sinners for his glory, their stories, how he uses them to spread the word to others. Identified with the woman at the well in Samaria, identified with her, who had gone from relationship to relationship, and she still wasn't steady with marriage and all of that. But God used her.
Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh. Jesus, you love me too much, oh, too much, oh, too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Identified with Rahab, that is known as a prostitute in the Bible, but that she did whatever she could to save her family, and that God used her. And I also found out how she's a descendant, or she's an ancestor. She's an ancestor of Jesus Christ. That even a prostitute can be an ancestor of our Lord. And I just realized that no matter who I am, no matter how much I've sinned, what has happened to me, it's not a punishment. I realize that God is using me. My life is a platform for His glory. And I don't know who the story will reach, who it will help. But I know there's a reason why I'm still here. That what I went through will not go in vain. So I think my message to any woman out there struggling with anything, any pain that you are going through, if you have lost a child, if you feel unworthy of God's love, if you are struggling with addiction, if you are going from failed relationship, if you're struggling in your marriage, if you're in an abusive relationship, it is not to punish you. It is to use you as a platform. And yeah, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the women in my life. My friends came from all over to support me. I didn't even know that I meant that much. And I realized that the 3 months that I was in hospital, that 3 months, that short time, I received so much love that it erased all pain that I've ever endured in my entire life. I was overwhelmed. Not just, yes, this is Women's Month, not just by the women, but by the men in my life as well. Thank you for those men who respect women. So, yes, I still have a long way to go, and God still has a lot of work to do. But at least I'm on my way. I make an effort. I make a statement of listening to a sermon every night before I go to bed, because I know it's the only way that I can keep those nightmares away. And I'm glad that I've learned that the spirit of fear is not from God. It's only a spirit of love and grace that comes from God. And that is why I call this death to light. Because the only thing that I still see is light. Some color here and there, but mostly light. So I have an outlet through writing. And I wrote something that I would like to share with you. So when I was younger, a friend once said to me, "What would you know about God?" Because at the time, I wasn't really going to church, and she was. And it was kind of judgmental of her, but she thought that she knew better without knowing my full story. So at the time, because I'm not confrontational, I stayed quiet. But if she asked me that today, I would say, a creator so gracious, that He takes away my sight of things, but leaves me in light, a reminder that I am not left in the dark. He loves me so much that He grants me sunrises, sunsets, and lightning bolts across the sky. In my darkest moment, I can call to Him. And that's what I know about God. Thank you for listening to me. And have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Good. Got you. That's it. Now you're doing it. You're losing it a little bit.
I don't know what I'm seeing. There's lots of light.
Yes, there is a lot of light here.
So the light
And
makes me
then-
feel like there's a path.
Yes, I was gonna say you're actually following the light. That's what happened there, because there's a big glass door where we just passed.